Right then, Mr. Bohr. You have come to the end of our 5-month therapy plan. Honestly, you have done incredibly well. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you so much for all your help. I honestly couldn't have done it without you.
It all started with a terrible CGI prairie dog in a desert.
Oh God, that sounds frightful.
Harrison Ford's about 517, still trying to perform his own stunts.
Interesting.
He survived a nuclear blast locked inside a fridge.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
It's not even the worst of it.
Look, whatever you say here, this is a safe space. Anything you say or share here with me will be strictly confidential.
Well, there is one thing.
Whatever it is, you can tell me.
It stars Shia LaBeouf.
That's all in the past. How are you feeling now?
Honestly, so much better. It's taken a while and it's not been easy, but I feel like I'm over it and I've finally come to terms with it.
That's great to hear. Well then, I guess I won't be seeing you next week.
No, I guess not. Thank you for all your help and take care.
Oh, just out of interest, what did you think of part 5?
Well, everyone hated the 4th Indiana Jones film, so why wouldn't they do what every other franchise is doing nowadays and bring the series back for another installment that nobody wanted, needed, or asked for, and somehow fucking made it worse than the last fucking one that everyone fucking hated, and I'm gonna kill everyone involved!
I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Hello?
Rob, look, you need to come back to the office. I think we need some more sessions.
Don't do this.
Plans for a 5th Indiana Jones film actually date as far back as 1979, when Spielberg and Lucas were trying to get Raiders of the Lost Ark off the ground. The deal they eventually made with Paramount to get the picture financed included 5 Indiana Jones films in total, so everything was always determined to go to shit. You know, before George lied to Stephen and convinced him to do a 2nd one, pestered him to do a 3rd one, bullied him to do a 4th one, and stop fucking making these, you pieces of
Rob, I'm getting reports that you have murdered a kitten. Get back here now!
No regrets.
Back when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was due to be released, Ford said that he would be open to another one so long as it didn't take as long to develop as the 4th film. Well, it took 19 years to make Crystal Skull and it took 15 years to make this one, so close call?
We were looking for it.
Lucas's initial plan was to make Shia LaBeouf's character, Mutt Williams, the main lead of the 5th film, but ultimately decided against it when he realised that Ford was just as agile in his old age as he was in his younger days. Well, look at him! He can't even run and make it look convincing! And how long was that shot? 2 seconds? He can't even run for 2 seconds!
I don't need morality lessons from an aging grave robber.
I'm not a grave robber.
Oh shit, in a few years you'll be a grave! Lucas began researching potential plot devices for another film in 2008, wanting a MacGuffin that was supernatural but still grounded in reality. Alright Marvel, calm down. With a historical background saying, you can't just make something up like a time machine.
It's all my fault.
Spielberg was reportedly open to returning as director, despite always having to be coerced into every fucking installment since the original! But he and Lucas just couldn't agree on any of his ideas. Shocker! Because George probably wanted a Jewish stereotypical sci-fi space duck creature to have a love storyline with Indy's cousin's dog or something.
You can't prove that!
By July 2012, there still wasn't a finished script, and producer Frank Marshall said that while the project wasn't outright abandoned, there hadn't been any significant progress made on it either. However, everything changed when Disney acquired Lucasfilm and all of its assets in October 2012, thereby giving them the rights to the Indiana Jones franchise. Because why stop at Disney killing one of your creations when it can do it to two?
Very impressive.
And in May 2015, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that a fifth indie film was officially in the works, set to be released in July 2019. However, in March 2016, it was reported that Lucas would no longer be involved in the project, having chosen to move on from the series, but Spielberg still remained on as director. David Koepp, a frequent collaborator of Spielberg's, was brought in to write the script, but this only began a long string of problems. In 2017, Spielberg's busy schedule on Ready Player One forced the release date back to 2020, with production set to start in April the year prior, but the script still hadn't been approved. Jonathan Kasdan was then brought on to replace Koepp as writer in the middle of 2018, and the release date was pushed back again to 2021. However, Kasdan left the project just a year later.
Abandon ship! Every man for himself!
And Koepp was rehired, but he still couldn't get the script approved due to Spielberg, Ford, and Disney constantly disagreeing over the direction of the series. Guys, maybe at this point, should have got the hint. Things only became worse in 2020 when Spielberg decided to step down as director, as he wanted to pass the series onto a new filmmaker with a fresh perspective. I mean, you got your fucking wish, dude. Good job. Though he did stay on as a producer. Koepp also left the project with Spielberg, though he remains credited as co-writer for his earlier work. Ford then suggested James Mangold to replace Stevie Boy as director, having worked with him on The Call of the Wild. Mangold was hesitant at first, as Disney wanted the film to begin production within 6 months in order to meet the 2021 release date, which he felt wasn't nearly enough time to refine the script. And it was only when the COVID pandemic pushed the release date back even more that he finally agreed, bringing on Jez and John Henry Butterworth to write a new screenplay.
Promising.
One of the more controversial elements of the story was the time travel angle, but Mangold dismissed these criticisms, considering this to be no sillier than the previous films. It's no more of a wild swing in my mind than ghouls flying out of a box and melting people's heads, or a 700-year-old knight existing in a cave for perpetuity. These are all beyond the scope of all physical belief. I mean, he's got a point. But I'm gonna bitch about it anyway.
I don't understand it.
They were also inspired to include the Nazis as the villains. Oh, for fuck!
Too many Nazis.
After learning the real-life intelligence program Operation Paperclip, which sounds like a Thomas the Tank Engine episode, in which over 1,000 scientists, engineers and technicians were covertly taken from Nazi Germany for government employment, because God forbid we don't have Nazis in an Indiana Jones film!
Now what?
Filming finally began in June 2021 in England and moved to Morocco, Italy and Scotland, and anywhere else they could spread their misery over the coming months, eventually wrapping in February the following year. Despite stepping down as director, Spielberg remained closely involved in production, frequently offering his advice on the script, watching dailies and visiting the editing room sometimes up to 8 hours at a time, and would go on to praise the final product.
Steven has been a part of making this movie and a partner making this movie and an incredibly wonderful mentor and kind.
It's really, really a good Indiana Jones film. I'm really proud of what Jim has done with it. And when the lights came up, I stood up and I just turned to the group and I just said, damn, I thought I was the only one who knew how to make one of these.
Dear Steve, you still ain't called a road, you can kiss my ass because you promised me that Crystal Skull would be the last. So now I'm a pistol over Schindler's List, and this is where I destroy Jaws, E.T. and any others with my fist. Dear mister, I'm too good to do us a favor and retire. You keep sending more, but you're a motherfucking liar. Anyways, I gotta go, I'm almost at your home now. You and your family must pay and you ain't never getting out.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I was surprised to find out isn't a Tenacious D sequel,
You lost.
was finally released on June the 30th, 2023, and was a front-to-back disaster. Against its utterly obscene $300 million budget, which, bear in mind, is greater than the budget of all 4 previous movies combined, the movie only grossed $382 million, making it one of the biggest box office bombs in cinema history, and losing Disney and Lucasfilm upwards of $100 million. Jesus Christ.
To the victor belongs the spoils.
To make things worse, reviews weren't exactly glowing either. The performances were mostly praised, but everything else from the action to the effects to the story to the characterization was heavily scrutinized. Many deeming the film an unnecessary addition to an already worn out franchise. What? The problem with the film... Wait, sorry, I'm such an idiot. I must have accidentally put in The Dark Knight Rises. Silly me. Okay. The movie tells the story of the 206-year-old Indy now becoming a retired grumpy bastard that nobody likes, perfect casting, who then meets up with one of his students, Helena, who just so happens to be his goddaughter, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And you know the drill, Nazis are there because Nazis, fucking Nazis!
Mann, Hitler! Machen Sie die Tür zu! Wagen starten! Losfahren! Wir sind in Eile! Losfahren!
Ah, Wes, yes, fuck that Anne Frank and Schnitzel. And they hunt for an ancient artifact to time travel.
The Archimedes dial?
I swear to God, if he says that this is a myth or a fairy tale...
Well, that was a long time ago.
Ah! Well, shit! Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I judged this film too quickly. I mean, it's better late than never. Clearly, Indy's learned his lesson. It only took fucking 40 years, but okay. They've learned. It's a miracle.
I don't believe in magic, Wombat.
Oh, Greg, I'm so sorry to bother you. Rob's been in the office. He has lost his fucking shit. Get here as soon as you can.
Rob! How many fucking times does he have to witness magic before the old miserable cuntbag believes in magic?
Proving it is what makes it science!
The first 20 minutes or so is a CGI young Harrison Ford. And you know what? It actually looks pretty good. As long as he doesn't move. Anytime he moves, he looks like a cartoon. Is this Indiana Jones or the Powerpuff Girls? He looks like a fucking bobblehead. Then again, they do have a missile sinking through the floor like we're in Dexter's lab, so fuck it. And there lies the problem. Does this at all look like a blockbuster? Nothing looks real. Look at it. No, you fucking look at it, you piece of shit. I have to look at it, so do you. They think just slapping the Indiana Jones theme over it will work. It looks so cheap. It looks like I made it. While drunk. And stoned. And depressed. Suicidal in a psych ward with a fucking straitjacket on! Does a single, solitary thing in this entire frame look real to you? The background looks fake, the train looks fake, Harrison Ford looks fake. How do you fuck up this much in a single shot? And sadly, I think that's the problem. They clearly just blew all of the budget on CGIing Harrison Ford for so much of the film.
I gotta stop this train.
You gotta stop this franchise! Why did he do that? How did he punched him straight after it? It blocked his vision for like a millisecond. It literally did nothing. This is the problem. It's nothing short of a poor, cheap, desperate imitation of the previous films. They try to copy it with this big opening. Ah, it's badass Indy and a cowardly sidekick. Look, he's got the outfit and everything.
They look like snakes.
No, they don't.
Even when they discuss the plot, it's just the same shit we've seen before. Twice.
You gotta get to the Graphicos before the Nazis.
And they will desperately throw the indie theme over any sequence. It doesn't matter if it's relevant or intense or an action scene. Just put it anywhere.
Oh, wow!
I mean, this one doesn't even make any sense. They play the theme as if he did something heroic, but it was her who saved him. He didn't do anything except forget to take his meds. A chase atop a train is the most overdone action scene in the history of overdone action scenes. And the special effects look like Smosh made it on paint. It looks like grade A under A splashed it together on iMovie. It looks like Lucas Cruikshank imported any old shit on Windows Movie Maker and accidentally made millions. And they can't even choreograph it correctly. Look at this. One of them is a stuntman with a CGI face.
How do you fuck up choreographing a stuntman with a CGI face? Kenny Ortega hates you and you deserve it. This is some of the worst CGI I have ever seen. There is no excuse. I am ashamed of us as a human race. How do we spend millions of years evolving as a species only for two fucking morons? Okay, I'm only gonna blame George. Only for one fucking moron to give one of the worst movies of all time. A film that is renowned for being terrible, pissed off fans of the franchise, angered non-fans and casual viewers. A film so heinous it became an absolute meme for years, only to come back, do it again, and somehow make it worse by accident. In fact, everyone was outraged when they broke up Indy and Marion, so they fucking do it again! I mean, I guess they do us all a favour. Shia LaBeouf's character dies off screen. Well done! But how do you do this again after the outrage the last time? They even try to give them an emotional reunion at the end? No, we've done this. It sucks last time and you've done it twice as bad. You've doubled the sucks. You've turned it into a homosexual vampire. How is that even possible? The very definition of learning is repetition. Humans discovered fire. We put our hand in it. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, we've learned. Don't put your hand in fire. How do you make a film that bad, get all of the backlash, and then do it again? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they try to make us laugh.
Shoot him! Not me!
But it only makes you cry because you hate yourself and the fact that you actually had some belief inside you, some hope that they would redeem themselves, some hope that you didn't waste your time. But you sit there and you've realised, I have. All of this was for nothing. And it leaves you feeling a sense of hatred and disgust, even more so than your parents gave you as a child. No? Just me?
No.
Everything is awful. The comedy, the effects, the choreography, the CGI. It's all a lazy attempt. They can't even do the one-liners correctly.
To the victor go the spoils.
I'm gonna slit my throat. Jesus Christ, this is a damn parody film. The Asylum made this. I mean, you laugh, but these puppets look more real than most of the shit throughout the film. Even when it's in present day, the CGI and green screen are some of the worst ever. Look at it. This bad guy simply leaping over to attack our hero is one of the funniest things ever put to film. But I can't laugh. I've lost it. The movie broke my laughing box and shoved it up my arse, and now I have to go to A&E and explain myself that I lost my laughing box because I watched a 900-year-old Harrison Ford trying to recapture his youth with a 200-year-old Steven Spielberg who can now go fuck himself. Even the editing is terrible. It looks like a fan film. A cheap one. Made on zero budget and sold as a bootleg in a car boot sale by a crackhead named Kev. You see, that was edited like it was meant to be a moment of comedy, but the scene continues like it was supposed to be serious. They have no idea what they're doing. When India's 905, it's even worse, because isn't this what you want to see in your Indiana Jones film? The greatest explorer in the world yelling at his neighbor for loudly playing music. And then he burns the script. Good. There is nothing to like. Everything is wrong. The script is shit. Harrison Ford is shit. The cinematography is shit. The editing is shit. The beginning is shit. The middle is shit. The ending is shit. The acting is shit. The music is shit. The shit is shit. I'm gonna swim with piranhas. How are you gonna make me miss Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? You did that movie. You did that. Harrison is so bad in this, and it's not even his fault. It's just sad and pathetic to see a man at this age attempting to perform these stunts. It's embarrassing. But it's okay, because if you forget that he's old, they'll tell you.
And the Wright brothers were born during the Civil War.
Oh, I thought maybe you went to school with them.
Cramped shoulders, crumbling vertebrae, a plate in one leg, screws in the other. You're half my age.
And it's even worse because apparently the writers made even more age jokes, and it was Harrison Ford who asked them to tone it down. He just looks beyond miserable in this. How do you make Indiana goddamn Jones this boring? He's the man who fought Nazis twice, and aliens, and ancient magical tribes, and he's boring his students.
At least he's not shagging them this time, I suppose. Just look at him! He is a shell of his former self. He's just a boring, grumpy, old, miserable man.
Wow, I haven't heard that in a while.
How many times has he saved everyone? And he's now this worthless, retired teacher?
Thanks for putting up with me.
We had a fucking choice, mate. And they still try to sell him as a threat. Yeah, the man who's been portrayed as a disheveled old geezer who can barely move is now able to trick these bad guys who were perfectly able to shoot and stop people a few seconds ago. I mean, they're willing to shoot him later, so what's the problem? It's just a good thing everyone in this film moves as slowly as possible and still manages to escape life or death situations. That's the problem. He still manages to take them out. He's 902! This was already a problem in part 4, and you've done it again 15 years later!
You okay up there?
Yes.
As long as I have a body double and awkward close-ups, I'll be fine. And due to Old Man River's limitations, they've had to slap a million green screens over it, none of which look real. If you have to try this hard to cover it up, maybe don't do the film. You don't have to make the film, guys.
Oh, well, Steven Spielberg's still alive and Harrison Ford's still alive. We might as well, I guess we gotta make an Indiana Jones film.
But you know what's better than one old guy somehow winning impossible fights? 2 old guys somehow winning impossible fights? What is this, WWE? The charm is gone. There's no adventure anymore. It's just dog shit. Mixed with asbestos. Soaked with phlegm, baked in smegma on 180 degrees before being marinated with spunk-flavoured vomit.
This is not an adventure, Sala.
And of course, Indiana Jones, one of the most famous people in the entire world who was recognised just moments ago outside a random shop, is now able to go through an airport and onto a plane without being spotted.
Nice big picture in the New York Herald. 1:30.
I didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, the only thing more intimidating than a man with a whip is a 900-year-old man with a whip. Alright, that was kind of funny. The action scenes are so goddamn boring. So even when they don't look half bad, the film is so painstakingly boring it doesn't matter anyway. And why do they keep using really weird music during action scenes? It sounds like Scooby-Doo. Even the musical score is confused. They can't do anything right. I mean, they have a horse outrun a train. A horse is outrunning a train. Yeah, I'm just letting you know that I won't be in work tomorrow because instead I've decided to bomb Kent.
I'm not selling this, am I?
As for his new sidekick, she basically wants to use him to become famous, which is realistic, I guess, and they do get a nice line in there.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy?
Wouldn't you?
The problem is, at first, she's just a big nothing. She's just there. She has no screen presence. She just fills up space and wastes oxygen.
What are you doing? Getting what's mine.
There's a Razzie in their car with my name on it. But as the film progresses, she is just beyond irritating. She switches back and forth between good and evil, but she makes me miss Shia LaBeouf. This movie makes me miss Shia LaFucking-Buff. She's just so annoying. They also introduce a little kid who's supposed to be the new Short Round, but my god, his acting is awful. He makes Shia LaBeouf look like Marlon Brando.
I just thought we were in this for all the wrong reasons.
And when they reach
85, I rotate.
Hell yeah! I did it!
Even the minor characters are terrible.
Jesus, what
the hell?
That's your reaction to finding dead bodies?
So that's the expert diver?
Ah, it's Stockton Rush.
He told him that the wrecked Roman ship broke up under the sea, 70 feet below.
Oh shit, it really is. In fact, it's crazy that this came out just a couple of weeks after the Ocean Gate incident. Talk about crazy timing. But does any of it even remotely feel like an Indiana Jones film? It just looks like a generic Harrison Ford movie. This makes Crystal Skull look like Raiders.
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
I mean, it's Indiana Jones venturing to the bottom of the ocean where a corpse emanates a bunch of eels. And I'm bored! They get attacked by all this shit. And I'm bored! They make Mads Mikkelsen a boring villain. Mads Mikkelsen! Alright, it's a little funny watching them steal a newlywed's car, but it's not even like they use the time travel stuff for anything creative. It's literally to rehash the plot of the first film. It's just the Nazis going back in time to 1939 to try to win the war. And the problem is, I kind of enjoy watching the Nazis punch Indy in this one. I shouldn't want to watch Nazis punch Indy. And much like before, Indy plays no part in the actual plot. He does not affect the story one bit. In fact, most of the time, he's desperately trying to remain in the plot. But it turns out they accidentally go back to 214 BC instead. And oh my god, I owe Attack of the Clones an apology. Look at the... Jesus Christ, I'm gonna feed my asshole to Jaws. Yeah, come and eat it, big boy. They even attempt to give Indy this emotional moment where he wants to stay in the past. Why? They never explain it. It's supposed to be this big heroic moment, and I'm guessing it's because he's old and depressed, but what's that got to do with him staying in 214 BC? Then she knocks him out and takes him back anyway. It's pointless.
Well, for starters, he'd have changed the course of history.
You literally interrupted and altered a historical fucking battle. What would leaving him there change at all? And then after 2.5 goddamn hours, it finally shows some mercy and decides to end. This movie is fucking abysmal. There's not a single thing that works. The acting, the editing, the music, the story, the dialogue, the effects, absolutely everything that could have been bad is. It's botched beyond repair. It's an irredeemable piece of shit that took everything bad from Crystal Skull and somehow made it worse. We all owe that crap an apology, and you should avoid this horse shit at all costs.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.